They fired him. Not just some job. The company. His creation. Built with his bare hands in a damn garage. His own board. His own people. They stabbed him in the back. You think you know betrayal? You think you know what it feels like to lose everything? This man, 30 years old, watched his life's work ripped from his grasp. The world laughed. The media mocked. They called him a failure. They called him finished. He stood there, watching his empire crumble. And then, they threw him out. What would you do? What would you do when the world decides you're irrelevant? When the very thing you poured your soul into rejects you? This wasn't just a job loss. This was an amputation. A public execution of his professional life. He was stripped bare, exposed. The visionary, the disruptor, the defiant genius. Reduced to nothing. He felt the cold, hard slap of reality. The chilling truth that sometimes, the world doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about control. It cares about power. And when you lose it all, you're just another ghost haunting the ruins of your own ambition. You want to stay hungry? You want to stay foolish? Try it when you're starving and the world calls you a fool. Before the fall, there was the fire. Before the empire, there was a garage. 2 college dropouts. No money. No connections. Just a relentless, terrifying belief that they could change the world. While others chased comfort, they chased chaos. They saw possibility where others saw impossibility. They built a revolution with their bare hands, fueled by late nights, cheap coffee, and an unshakable defiance. They didn't ask for permission. They just built. And you're still waiting for a sign. You're still waiting for someone to give you permission. They built an empire from nothing. They turned a garage project into a global phenomenon. Macintosh, the iconic 1984 ad. He was hailed as a genius, a prophet. He stood on top of the world, a titan of industry at barely 30 years old. He proved them all wrong. He showed the world what was possible. He believed he was invincible. And that, my friend, is exactly when you become vulnerable. Because when you reach the peak, the only direction left for someone else to push you is down. The very company he birthed, the board he brought in, they turned on him. They saw his intensity as a weakness, his vision as an inconvenience. They wanted control. They wanted predictability. And Jobs? He only knew one way, his way, uncompromising, relentless, crazy. The corporate machine gnashed its teeth and devoured its own creator. They told him he was too erratic, too difficult, too much. They stripped him of his power. They stripped him of his purpose. And then, they cast him out. Imagine that walk. The shame, the public humiliation, the whispers. Every fiber of his being screamed failure. He could have quit. He could have retreated into obscurity. Most people would. Most people do. But there was a fire within him that no boardroom vote could extinguish. He carried the weight of that rejection, but also the clarity it brought. He had been fired from his own company. And for a moment, he understood what it truly meant to begin again. To be nobody. To have nothing left to lose. So he started again. Not with a whimper, but with a roar. He founded Next, a company that pushed the boundaries of computing. He invested in a tiny animation studio called Pixar. He failed. He learned. He burned through millions. He faced more skepticism. But he never stopped building. He never stopped creating. He allowed himself the freedom to fail again, to be the novice, to reclaim the raw, unfiltered passion he had almost lost. He was forced to remember what drove him, stripped of corporate politics. Your comfort zone? It's a cage. Your failures? They are the chisel that carves your masterpiece. The world watched, mostly indifferent. Next struggled. Pixar hemorrhaged cash for years. This wasn't instant success. This was the brutal, unglamorous grind. The quiet determination that happens when nobody is watching, when the spotlight is gone. He honed his craft. He refined his vision. He learned patience, a quality he rarely possessed. He sharpened his edge. He built the foundations of a new revolution, brick by agonizing brick. This is where true strength is forged. Not in the glory, but in the relentless, daily defiance of doubt. Meanwhile, Apple, the company that fired him, was dying. Years of corporate incompetence, diluted vision, and a desperate struggle to stay relevant. It was bleeding money. It was weeks from bankruptcy. They had nowhere left to turn. They came crawling back. To the man they humiliated. To the man they discarded. Imagine that moment. The ultimate reversal. He could have walked away, let it burn. But he wasn't driven by revenge. He was driven by destiny. He knew his time was limited, and he was done wasting it living someone else's life. He had a world to reshape. He didn't just return. He ignited a supernova. He slashed products. He focused the vision. He introduced the iMac, bringing color and personality back to a dull industry. He launched the iPod, putting 1,000 songs in your pocket. He created iTunes, reinventing music forever. He wasn't just saving a company. He was rebuilding an entire ecosystem. He was proving that the crazy ones were the only ones who truly understood. This wasn't just a comeback. This was a brutal, beautiful vindication. And then he showed them the iPhone. Not just a phone, a device that redefined human interaction. A computer in your pocket. A revolution you could hold in your hand. He didn't just build a better product. He built a better future. He didn't just save Apple. He changed the entire damn world. He took a company on the brink of collapse and turned it into the most valuable company on earth. He was a visionary, a madman, a genius. He dared to be foolish. He dared to stay hungry. He dared to believe what others called insane. You, looking at this screen, how much time are you wasting? How many excuses are you making? Steve Jobs didn't get a second chance because he was lucky. He earned it through years of pain, failure, and relentless self-reinvention. He found his true path only after he was stripped of everything. That humiliation, that public rejection, it was the catalyst. It was the best damn thing that ever happened to him. Because sometimes, losing everything is how you find your true path. It's how you learn what you're truly made of. You're comfortable, you're safe, you're predictable, and you're dying a slow, quiet death. You're chained to your fears, your doubts, your desire for approval. You're living someone else's life, trapped by expectations, paralyzed by the fear of failure. Jobs taught us that the greatest leaps come from the deepest falls. The clearest vision emerges from the darkest nights. What are you holding on to that's holding you back? What fire needs to be extinguished in your life so a greater one can ignite? Stop making excuses. Stop blaming others. Stop waiting for permission. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about your impact. Are you ready to be fired? Not by a company, but by life itself. Are you ready to lose everything that defines you so you can rediscover who you truly are? Are you ready to embrace the wilderness, the struggle, the brutal, beautiful fight for your own vision? You have a choice. Live a quiet life of regret, or ignite a blaze that burns through the mediocrity of your existence. They called him crazy. They called him a fool. They tried to break him. They tried to silence him. And he came back. He didn't just return. He redefined reality. Because the truth is, the world isn't changed by the comfortable. It's changed by the relentless. It's changed by the defiant. It's changed by the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world. And then, against all odds, they actually damn well do. Now, what's your excuse?